Okay, and welcome back everybody to the channel. This is gonna be a fun flight. Uh, this uh, this airplane, according to the analytics, there we go. I finally got it out. The analytics of YouTube tells me that this aircraft is again quite possibly a favorite, and so I thought where to go and what to see. And I came up with a quick flight. Should be less than 1 hour, not even that. And that is from Fort Lauderdale Executive, just north of Miami, on down to Key West. And if I time this right, we should be arriving in the Key West right at dusk. So the hopefully Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 does it justice if we get down there, and hopefully the sun setting over the Gulf will look beautiful as we will be climbing up to 20,000 feet. Current temperature here in Fort Lauderdale is 28 Celsius, which is about 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And the temperature down in Key West is right around 80, so just a little cooler, and not as much winds. And believe it or not, the winds are actually variable down in the Key West. So I've got everything loaded up, and let's come on board, and I'll take you down to Key West with me. So pre-flight walk around already done as well. So all we gotta do is hop on board, get those engines up and running, and go over the checklist real quick, but do it diligently, of course, and we'll be on our way. All right, we're already down to the before engines are checklist. I simply have the taxi checklist up. So let's go ahead and get the engines up and running. And remember, in this airplane, it's very easy to do it. We simply lift up. Let me zoom in for those of you watching on a mobile device. We lift this cover, go to run, hold the start button until it turns into barber pole. We leave that open just in case we had to stop the engine start from happening. There's a light off. Looking good. Looking very good. And as soon as the word start goes away under N1%, okay, there we go. The engine is now stabilized. We close the cover now. Open the cover on the left engine. Hold it. Powerful. Let go. And we'll watch this engine spool up. We can go ahead and set flaps to 1, and when we do, if you look on my PFD on the left, you'll see the 4 V speeds populate. There we go. So V1 is 111. Rotate at 114. V2, which is the 6 speed, 129. And flap retraction is going to be at 185. We can retract it a little sooner, but I'm sorry, we can retract the flaps a little later. But 185 is going to be our speed at which we do so. All right, I've already got everything else checked. Barometer, believe it or not, barometer is 29.92 inches of mercury, so we're good to go. In that regard, let's go ahead and turn on our taxi lights and surround the wing lights just for purposes of people not running into us. As soon as we get to taxi here, we'll do the reverse thrust check here. Alright. Realizing that my monitor is pretty big, I want to make sure that you can also see it. Let's just turn on the flight director real quick. And we'll go ahead and arm the auto throttles. And we can do it now. We're not going to be pushing them forward for takeoff yet. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's do a very sharp right. And the taxiway should be practically to our 5 o'clock. And as soon as we get up in the air and make sure that the autopilot is doing what it's supposed to do, following the flight plan, I have a special announcement that I think some of you might find interesting. So we gotta make one more turn to the right here. There we go. See it a little bit better. Alright. A little more thrust. There we go. As soon as we get on to the primary taxiway, then we'll test out the thrust reversers. And if you can see there on the PFD, the anti-ice system has now gone through a built-in test. And this is what we want. Cross runway 13 and then go left. Although with this scenery, it looks like, alright. The real world charts show that we have to cross 13 and then taxi on the taxi over on Delta and then back to 13. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to be announcing something that we just launched today, and the link for that information will be in the description below. Alright, let's execute the left turn right about here. Alright. Should give us runway 3113. We do not need a full length departure. We can do it from right here. So this is a displaced 3113. At least that's what the computations that we're carrying out. We don't need to do that. So what we are going to do, we're going to do what's called in the citation longitude here. This is called in other words, their words and not mine. We're going to be doing a rolling takeoff, and their definition of a rolling takeoff is lining up on the runway, holding the brakes, setting takeoff thrust, releasing the brakes, and then going. So let's see if that works. Again, we are not flying online with the ATC or VATSIM because the simulator, from my standpoint, just isn't ready for it yet. Too many mistakes, scenery mistakes. That's what I won't be doing. So let's go ahead and check the reverse real quick. We're just looking for a thruster and deploy. There it is. Good. And they're locked. Alright, that's done. That is done. What about the next one here? Before takeoff, checklist, flaps, set trim. I'm sorry, speed brakes, retracted trim, set for 3. Yep, they are. Anti-ice, we already went through that. V-speeds are displayed, speed knob on the FMS. Yep, it is. And crew briefing, we already did that. Radar. It is actually clear. There is nothing en route with regard to any weather. The only weather that does exist is to the to the east southeast. So it's just over the Bahamas. Pido, that's the Raven tank. Arrow, clear for takeoff. Yep, ice protection and exterior lights. And ICAS grid alert system is good. Takeoff. Okay. I always find this an interesting checklist. Yeah, we do know that to set that we need to set the throttles to take off. Yeah, we do know that. Throttle is already there. It will be there. They're just basically walking you through what needs to happen while taking off, which I find interesting. So right there is our rolling takeoff, which is what we're going to do. Brakes will be released as soon as the thrust set. Auto throttle, and it's the same thing as the other one. As takeoff, we will leave that up because we will be utilizing that very quickly. We don't have a lot of fuel on board, so we are good to go. Alright. Double check the lights. Good. And we can turn on the recognition lights as well. And like I said, hopefully the simulator will give us some very nice scenery here as the sun begins to set in southern Florida. Let's go ahead and go. Begin to roll. Fort Lauderdale Executive. Traffic citation 463 Charlie Lima. Departing runway 13. Straight out departure. Fort Lauderdale Executive traffic. Nope, I forgot I'm not flying on with ATC. Old habit. Old habit. Alright, let's line up. Let's do that rolling takeoff. Brakes hold all the way forward. There we go. Indication on the information. Green hold. Brakes off. V1 and rotate. There we go. Positive rate. Gear up. I know the parking brake. Yeah. If anybody is on a development team watching this, would you please fix this? We would greatly appreciate it if you would. And flaps up, please. All right, let's get situated on the routing here. We want to do it manually. We don't want the autopilot to do all the work. So have a little bit of fun with this. See if it's gonna keep us at 250. That's what it wants us to do. All right, let's go ahead and pitch that nose up because we might as well utilize it as much thrust as the auto throttle is giving us. Alright, let's get back on course. There we go, direct to the Fort Lauderdale VOR. There we go. Looking good. Looking very good. Yeah, let's bring that nose up a little bit more. And we'll come out of that bank angle. Remember, whether you're flying a Cessna 172 or a mid-sized biz jet like this, or a 747, always remember small corrections with regard to your control inputs. There you go, 10,000 feet already, looking good. Let's see, APU off. Alright, let's go ahead and go direct. After we cross Fort Lauderdale, we should be automatically onto our next fix. And then we'll do the after takeoff checklist. Nav mode is good. Autopilot is on. And we're going to go ahead and sell it to climb at our final change mode. Go into climb mode. Let's just make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it is. It's determined that 270 knots is the optimum climb speed, and I would concur because we are departing like a rocket ship, already flying through flight level 160. Very, very impressive. Alright, above 10,000, lights, landing lights are off. Everybody else, we can leave it on. And always remember that the navigation beacon light is not controlled on the overhead panel. It's controlled in the GTC, one of the GTCs. The primary GTCs, this one here, or this one over here. Alright, 18,000. We're already at 29.92. Alright, leveling off at 20,000. So, let's go through that after takeoff checklist. You know, we've only been in the air for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright. And yes, we do have 8 passengers on board, so. A 320 is what it wants to fly at. Hopefully it keeps us right there. Let's just make sure it does, because we don't want to overspeed. It's doing pretty good. As I said, the winds are practically not even something to look at. And look at that, it's capturing speed. Very, very good, and we're already to our next navigation fix. Delta Hotel Papa. We're well above Miami International. So, landing gear, let's do the checklist here. Landing gear is up, flaps are up, throttles, eyes protection as required, preservation chips. Seatbelts, they're on. Altimeters, they're already set. Make sure your lights as required. APU is off now. And we are cruising. So, throttle as required. The autopilot is on. Altimeter is cross-check. Let's see, 20,000-ish almost. And on the FO's PFD, they look identical to me and are within 200 feet of each other. Yep, everything looks the same. And we're ready for the descent checklist. Let's have a look outside to see what Miami looks like from 20,000 as we fly through these beautiful clouds. Let's see here. Or are the clouds going to be obstructing our view of Miami? There's the airport right off our tail. Miami International. And somebody who has been in and out and or connecting flights through Miami International. That is a very, very interesting airport, one that sometimes you just want to avoid altogether. With all due respect to those of you that work at Miami International in the real world. Okay, looking very good. Let's see what that sun looks like at 20,000 feet as it begins to set over the Gulf. Beautiful sight, no doubt about it. All right, back inside. We can go ahead and pull up the flight plan as to what it looks like in total. There it is, and there we are. It's kind of a neat view. With regard to the weather radar, let's go into that real quick. And the weather selection system. What does it look like on this? Let's just make sure that if we had to utilize it, if it would work, it goes into standby mode. Okay. Weather. And remember, this is the forward-looking weather radar, and that is mounted in the aircraft itself. The other one is your weather that comes via satellite. But as I said, I looked at the flight plan before we hopped in the jet, and there isn't any weather in this area. It's over, the weather that does exist is over the western Bahamas. Oh, that doesn't work either. Okay. And we can just leave it like that. That's fine. Radar overlay. That's right. Okay, so we really do not need the weather. Although we do know that traffic is not active because I have it disabled. So we are simply going to leave. Let's see here, we can decrease the range just a bit. We'll leave that weather up and running. That's fine. Alright, so the news is we launched the Patreon account today. Hopefully everything is up and running. So for those of you that want to support the channel and help us grow it and deliver to you quality aviation content that is not only germane to Microsoft License 2024 or DCS, as there is a large group of people in another membership that I was asked to be a part of, as they are a very wonderful veterans group, and I've been asked by them to teach in both Microsoft License 2024 as well as DCS if they want to learn some of the study level aircraft over there, such as like the F-18, the F-14, which is obviously no longer in use, but F-18, and basic combat tactics and things of that nature. So that is why that is on the list. When you look at the Patreon account, the URL website address for the Patreon account is in the description below. So your membership there will help launch a very, very unique channel in that not just launch, but keep it growing as new aircraft come out and people will want to see things with regard to seeing how things are done in real world aviation. And if you go to that link, you'll get to read what the what we at Fly Adventures are all about. And you even get to learn a little bit about me. I try to keep it very, very brief. But what I do deliver, because I enjoy doing it, even though it took a very, very special young lady in my life to get me to eventually do this. And the way that all worked out was basically, and I'm not going to try to imitate her voice, but because she can hear this. Why don't you do a YouTube channel? I simply said, well, there's so many people that do it. No, but you've got so much knowledge in the aviation industry. It's what you've done the majority of your life. And I said, all right, so it's as usual with us men. It took me a while to finally give in. Let's go ahead and begin our descent. And that has now turned into a YouTube channel, and that has also morphed into the partner of the YouTube channel, as at least that's the way I look at it. A partner of the YouTube channel, meaning the Patreon account, and I already posted a video, and that video is strictly for members. And in that video, I do explain some interesting things about me, my background, and other videos will go into more detail. Now, why didn't we begin to descend? That is... I know. I'm a Boeing driver, and I'm used to this automatically. I'm used to automatically descending, as long as you've got the appropriate altitude dialed in to the MCP and the FMA. It just automatically descends without touching anything, which I know is very, very different than Airbus drivers and Airbus drivers. Somewhat different. So, there's a longtime family friend. He's a captain at JetBlue. So, sorry, Kurt, if you're watching. Airbus is just a little different from what I am used to. But anyway, let's focus on the flight real quick. And believe it or not, this is the one area where FlightAware kind of falls short. It was telling me that the flight would be approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I said, no way. I've been to this area of Florida so many times. There's no way it can be 1 hour and 20 minutes unless you're flying down in like a Cessna 172, which would be great. But if we did this quick little flight, would not be possible. All right, let's pull up our checklist here. Pressurization, that's good. APU as desired, at or below 3-1. Well, we're going to start the APU after we land. Altimeters. The last I checked, the altimeter in Key West was also 29.92. Let's give it a double check here. the meter are as we speak, and I enjoy using flight awareness for that. Oh, it did change. Not much. 2996. Okay. And do that on standby as well. There we go. Exterior lights. Let's go ahead and just turn on the lights that we need. And that's good. That is check. Approach. Alright, we know what our landing distance is. It's going to be roughly less than 5,000 feet, so we'll do that. Speeds up real quick. Landing. Those V-speeds are up and on. Alright. So, anyway, landing data. Let's just go through that real quick. Let's check everything here. Landing data. Runway 27, that is right. Weather. Let's just load the meter data here. Make sure it is 2996. Yes, it is. Very good. Runway should be runway 27. Yep, it'll be a visual approach. Landing configuration, full flaps. And ice. Not required this time of the year, to say the least. 80, 81 degrees. Thrust reversers are going to be, okay, good. Landing factor and landing data. They set those speeds, and they're, like I said, they're already calculated, but we just had to go through the official calculation of it all. Back to the flight plan. Alright. It's an interesting little, very, very interesting little loop that I threw into the flight plan, because we're supposed to go from strap, I'll zoom in for you here. We're supposed to go strap direct to burpee, and it's not doing that because of our speed. So I might have to intervene with the heading. Might have to intervene here just a little bit as we get closer. And then simply take control of it manually. Alright. Everybody else looks good. 1,500. Alright. Set this for 1,005. Oops. Landing data. Confirm V-speeds. That's awesome. Ice. Yeah, not gonna need it. Minimums are already in. 450 feet on the radio. Altimeter. Crew briefing. We did. Passenger. Everything there is good. Seatbelt sign. If they're on, they're on. And we're going to be introducing the flaps as required. Before landing, we're going to do all this and more. But we're going to go ahead and check it off as we get lined up. Yeah, as suspected, it's going to be cutting us in way too soon. And we're going to switch over to manual on the speed mode here. We need to slow down big time, and it's not going to happen with this. And continue the vertical speed. We're going to VS it down to about 800 feet a minute, but we want to slow down to 1 to 200 first. And it looks like it needs a little bit of help slowing us down. And we're going to have to resort to a manual heading change. No big deal. And that should do it right there. And let's actually level her off at 2000. Because we will be flying over a very, very small airfield. As you can see, this is why a lot of people have two people in the flight deck of this aircraft. Yeah, the Garmin G5000 does take the workload off of the the pilot flying, but there's a checklist to run, there's ATC to deal with. Alright. And it will give us a chance to check out the scenery. If I remember right, I've been down to Florida with the exception of the airport, Miami International, and the Miami International Airport Hotel. I've been there more times than I can remember, but driving down here, never done it, but I do believe that is Highway 1. Feel free to correct me about that. It goes from mainland Florida and then on down through the Keys, all the way down to the end of the highway, which it ends in Key West. Alright, let's just make sure that we are going direct to Burpee. Just make sure we're going to do that here. There we go. That's a little better, don't you think? I think so. Let's see. Let's look. Let's look at how things look. Yep, and we're gonna go ahead and slow down even more, even more. And slow way down to maybe 150, and flaps 1. All right. Looking good. Looking really good. Let's do nav, back to nav here real quick. Now that we're slowing, yeah, that'll work. It'll intercept Burpee and then a nice right turn, and then we'll begin to shoot the approach. Alright, flaps 2. I know it's going to yell at me for not having landing gear down. Oh, not this way. Alright. We're going to go gear down. The reason I'm looking down here is because we want to preclude the parking brake from, well, it came on anyway. Okay, parking brake is off. Full flaps. 132 is going to be our speed, so we're going to say 135 on the speed. Alright, let's finish up that checklist real quick. And we do need to go down to 1,005 in just a moment. Alright. Flaps, lights, speed brakes. I guess. Auto is good. Airspeed be rest set. Landing auto throttle, it will be automatically retard. We know that. Brakes, no line, thrust reverse will be deployed. Alright. There's a runway right there. Let's go ahead and just VS it down right now. Down to 1500. As soon as we get to 1500, then we'll activate our go around altitude. Which will be 2,400 feet. We're going to go ahead and activate our go around heading, which is going to be direct. There we go. Alright, flaps full, landing gear down. Okay, yep. Checklist is complete. Let's just double check that the parking brake remained off. Yes, it did. Okay. Alright, looking good. And I did double check the winds just a little while, just a few minutes ago when I got the altimeter for Key West. And the winds are 270 F5, so we have a little bit of a headwind, which is nice. Very, very nice thing to have. Yeah, we can bring it back to 132. Alright, and we're going to take over now.
Autopilot.
This is a good time to really test the auto throttle to see if it actually does idle at 50 feet AGL. We'll see if it actually does that. Hopefully it does. It's a beautiful evening. Beautiful evening to fly. It doesn't get any better than this. Look at that. That is a gorgeous sunset. Let's see what it looks like out here real quick. Yeah, beautiful. Alright. Once a reliable airliner comes to the market, like maybe a 737, 700, something like that, I will bring that into Key West. It is a lot of fun to do. Hopefully the throttles do automatically come back, because with this one,
$500 minimums.
Landing. Alright.
200.
Check.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
A little long on landing here.
10.
Get stop.
Auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle.
Why it does that,
throttle,
I have
auto
no
throttle,
idea.
Auto
Oh, I
throttle,
was
auto
turning it
throttle,
off.
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Yeah.
auto throttle,
We
auto throttle,
get
auto
it.
throttle,
Yeah,
auto throttle,
we
auto throttle, auto throttle.
Would you please be quiet?
Auto
Okay,
throttle, auto throttle,
we'll get
auto
it to turn off here in a
auto
second.
throttle, auto 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 throttle, auto
Yeah,
throttle, auto throttle,
we
auto
hear ya.
throttle,
Hang on
auto
just a
throttle,
second.
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Jeez, sorry
auto
about that.
throttle, auto 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 throttle.
Alright, let's just get, let's take care of that right now.
Auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle.
Good grief, that is annoying. My goodness. Alright. Landing lights off and the collision lights off. Recognition lights, don't need it. Alright, like I said, welcome to Key West. The landing was a long landing, a bit, but it wasn't beginning to, it was not beginning to descend as I thought it would. Meaning the autopilot, I thought it would pick up the, because it's not an ILS, and that's what the issue is. Technically it's an RNAV, and I did not select the RNAV, I selected the visual, so why it was giving us a glide slope, I don't know. I was looking at the glide slope, but things happen. So, inevitably, I thought it would not do that. Let's see real quick where it wants to take us here. Not a fan of the blue chevrons on the ground at all. Yeah, I do know that the gates are at the east end of the field here. Oh, look at that Piper Dock. I used to fly you. That was the first airplane I learned on. There's another one. But the one thing it never did, it never levitated like that. That's a new one. I didn't know Tom Ox could levitate. Like something else that needs to get fixed in the sim. Alright, it looks like it's putting us over where the airlines park, which is alright with me because it looks like the Gen F parking is somewhat packed. The next flight, I will definitely make sure that I utilize real traffic. Hopefully, the API calls that the sim makes with the yes, I am an app developer. The hopefully the scenery with regard to the static aircraft will be better if I turn on the live traffic. If any of you have any comments or thoughts about that, drop me a comment. I would love to know. Alright. Okay. A little more thrust to get us rolling. Alright. And a nice left. Alright. Here we are. And idle. Very good. Alright, let's do our shutdown checklist, even though we pretty much, with this airplane, the shutdown checklist is very intuitive. We did not need to do this. Go to the next checklist. Yeah. Checklist, no, we didn't, we didn't do a go around. Alright, enter landing, flaps. Okay, thrust reverse load, flaps are as agree, ice protection not required. Exterior lights as required. Shutdown, throttles are idle, emergency parking brake. Parking brake is set, engine anti-ice, of course it's off. And we're now good to turn off the engines here.
Auto throttle, auto throttle,
Oh
auto
boy,
throttle,
really?
auto throttle,
Already?
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto
Really?
throttle, auto throttle,
Why
auto
would that?
throttle, auto 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 throttle, auto
Well, that's
throttle,
annoying,
auto
isn't it?
throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto
Oh,
throttle, auto
well,
throttle,
that is
auto throttle,
definitely a
auto
glitch
throttle,
because
auto throttle,
I
auto
turned the
throttle,
auto throttle
auto throttle,
off
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto
and
throttle, auto
disconnected.
throttle, auto
Why
throttle,
once that, I have
auto
no
throttle,
idea.
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Let's
auto throttle,
try,
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto
let's
throttle,
do
auto
this
throttle,
here.
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto
Let's
throttle, auto
try
throttle, auto
this.
throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
No.
auto throttle, auto
Well,
throttle, auto throttle,
let me
auto
do
throttle,
this for
auto
you because
throttle,
that's going
auto
to be
throttle,
very, very
auto
annoying.
throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Very
auto
annoying.
throttle,
Sorry about
auto
that.
throttle, auto
Let's
throttle,
go to
auto throttle,
our
auto
aircraft
throttle,
systems,
auto
make sure
throttle,
the
auto
lights
throttle, auto throttle,
out
auto
there
throttle,
are
auto throttle, auto
off.
throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Alright.
auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle,
Now,
auto
this will
throttle,
be
auto
the
throttle,
ultimate
auto
test to
throttle, auto
see
throttle,
whether it
auto
should
throttle,
be giving
auto
us that or
throttle, auto
not.
throttle,
If we
auto
exit the
throttle, auto
aircraft,
throttle, auto throttle,
we
auto throttle,
should
auto throttle, auto
no
throttle,
longer hear
auto
that.
throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle, auto throttle.
Hey, look at that. That's how you get it to be quiet. It's to exit the aircraft. I thought I turned off the taxi lights. Anyway, well, there you have it, everybody. Welcome to Key West. That was a fun, quick flight. And again, um, if you've liked the content that we have already created thus far, including this flight, as you can see, we do our very best to adhere to real aircraft operations and procedures. But we also try to get in as much of fun, if you will, as we possibly can. And again, just a note, we do have a Patreon account that is open. And and again, the link for Patreon is going to be in the description below. And the benefits of becoming a Patreon member are listed in the about section, but it's also in the video that is posted specifically for patrons. And what you'll be getting out of it will be very, very interesting. It'll be a lot more than just this, flying from A to B. It'll include, once in a while, it'll even include in-depth instruction on a specific aircraft that a patron wants to really get down and learn how to utilize it. So whether they're getting ready to begin flying lessons, whether they're beginning to upgrade from like a private PPL license to a commercial. We're here to show you how those operations function. And again, I do have to say though, in the legalities of all this is for entertainment purposes only, but it will help you if you are going down that path in your career. Or if you're just if you're a fly swimmer and you simply enjoy fly swimming, again, the benefits that you'll get out of the Patreon membership will be very, very equally important. Let's put it that way. And with those videos, you will be the people who have a say so. Again, that's what aircraft we fly. And the adventure on that end of the YouTube channel is described in depth in the video. And again, that video is for Patreon only. I should say patrons. And again, just sincerely hope you enjoyed this little flight from Fort Lauderdale Executive on down to Key West. And as soon as they release the next update for this sim, I'm going to test it out, make sure all the bugs that need to be worked out are, and then you're going to begin to see me fly on the advanced sim. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I do get private messages, and flying online with virtual air traffic simulation, virtual, they're real people obviously, but some of them are real air traffic controllers in real life, and they do add a very helpful element to this, and we'll be showing you that as well. So with all that being said, again, welcome to Key West. Hope you enjoyed your flight with us this evening. And as always, before I close this out, just really think about the Patreon membership. And I look forward to your thoughts. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. And to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up button, we appreciate it. And until next time, fly safe.